If you watch this video till the very end and take action, you will have a voice agent powered by AI set up for your business in no time. Okay, so I'm just going to call the voice agent and let's see how it interacts.
Hi, thanks for calling Apex Appliance Repairs. This is Alex. How can I help you today?
Hi, actually, my oven is not working and I was wondering if you could send over a technician at my place.
Of course. What appliance is giving you trouble?
It's my oven.
Got it. When would you prefer a technician to come by?
So I have a flight today, but I would be back by the 4th of July. So could you send him on the 4th?
Sure, I can schedule a technician for the 4th of July. May I have your name, please?
Yeah, it's Yashica.
Thank you, Yashica. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Okay, so you could call 95705 92621.
Thanks, Yashica. Let me confirm, you're requesting service for your oven and you'd like the technician to come on the 4th of July. Your name is Yashica and your phone number is 957-059-2621. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks, Yashica. I've submitted your request and someone from our team will follow up with you shortly. Is there anything else I can assist you with?
Yeah, could you tell me if you have any diagnostic charges?
Yes, we do charge a $49 diagnostic fee. However, this fee is waived if you proceed with the repair. Would you like more details?
No, thanks. I just wanted to know that. Thank you.
You're welcome, Yashica. Have a great day and good luck with your flight. Take care.
Okay, so that's how the conversation went. So basically, all I did was I scheduled an appointment. And as you can see in the Google Sheet, it added my request, right? The fourth row. And apart from that, I also asked it a question that is, what are its diagnostic charges? And it responded with the correct answer after looking into the knowledge base that I had uploaded to it. So if you want to create a similar voice agent that can answer questions, book appointments, transfer calls if needed, and do a quick conversation with your customers, then stick till the very end. So hello everybody, my name is Yashica Jain and I'm the founder of Automate AI. Automate AI is our AI automation agency wherein we create AI systems as well as solutions for businesses. We create AI agents, AI workflows, AI voice agents, and a ton of other. You can visit our website in case you're interested. AI voice agents have been a big one this year. Every single business is adopting it. So I thought of creating a guide on YouTube that could help you set up one for your own business. Again, the link to our website is in the description below in case you're interested in automating your business with AI. Then don't forget to check it out. If you would like to connect with me on LinkedIn, then the link to my LinkedIn account is also in the description below. Okay, so now we can finally get started. So for the people who are new to this, let me tell you that we're going to be using a platform called as Retell AI in order to create the AI voice agent. The reason why I choose it over any other platform is because of its conversational capabilities. I really get this question a lot, that why are you going with this one and not any other? So let me tell you that I've kind of tested every platform out there and this one just stands out. So if you don't already have an account with them, then the link to the platform is in the description below. Click on that and create an account. You're going to get about 60 minutes worth of free trial that would be enough for you to create and test this voice agent. And once those 60 minutes credits are over, you will just have to pay for the minutes you're using, the extra minutes. You don't have to buy any monthly subscription or anything like that. You just have to pay per minute. And each voice agent clearly states how much it costs per minute. Okay, so if you have created your account, let's get started. You will head over to agents here and then you will click on this black button that says create an agent. After that, you're going to select voice agent. Now, it's going to ask you the agent type. In most cases, we use either the single prompt agent or the multi-prompt agent. Single prompt is more for the straightforward conversations, like just a quick one, a quick task or something like that. And the multi-prompt agents are when you have different topics to talk upon, you wanted to handle different topics, different scenarios. In that case, you go with a multi-prompt agent. And in this case, we're going to go with a multi-prompt one as well. And we're going to click on start from blank and then create. Great. Now we have this blank canvas in front of us. The first thing that we're going to do is name the agent. So let's just name it AI voice agent for your business. So basically your business name. Awesome. And anytime you want to track how much your agent is going to cost you per minute, you can just have a look at this particular number. So right now it's about $0.115 per minute. After that, we will be selecting the LLM model. So basically, do you want to go with GPT? Do you want to go with Claude? Do you want to go with Gemini? So it's your choice. It's your call. But for this particular agent, I'd say that let's go with GPT-4o and the default version of it. And by the way, you can also compare the pricing. If you want, you can change certain models, test it again and again, and choose the one that best fits for your use case. After that, you have an option to select the voice. So if you click here, you will be able to select from a bunch of voices. So we have 11 labs here, and we also have OpenAI voices. I would recommend going with 11 labs. And after that, here you can select the gender. Let's say we want to go with female. Then the accent. Let's say we want to go with American. By the way, we also have other accents like Indian and Australian. So you could just go with all accent, and you could just, browse through and find whichever one you want. But if you just want an American accent, you can just select it here. And for this, let's leave it empty. After that, you can listen to each one of them and select the one that best suits your business. So for now, I'm just gonna go with the voice Grace. I think it has a lot of enthusiasm, sounds more human. The other ones might sound a bit, robotic. So I'm just gonna go with this one, and I'm gonna click on use voice. After that, you can click on this gear-like icon. You can change the voice speed. So do you want it to talk fast? Do you want it to talk slow? So you can select that. I just prefer to keep it somewhere in the middle, not too fast, not too slow. Then for the voice temperature, do you want it to be calm or do you want it to be dramatic? So, or you can say emotional. So again, here also I like to, keep it somewhere in the middle or a bit here. And then the voice volume, I would recommend increasing it a bit because a lot of times the customers might have an older phone and they might not be able to hear it well. So I think you can keep it somewhere here and then save it. Lastly, you can select the language. So for most of our clients, we go with multilingual because it covers like most of the languages that their customers speak. But again, you have the choice of selecting any one if you want. And then again, in English as well, you can select the US English, the Indian English, UK, because every place has a different set of vocabulary, how they speak, right? So you could go with that. For now, I'm just going to go with multilingual. Great. Now coming to the prompt. Okay, so for the prompt, I have already created a very, very in-depth video on how you should write the prompt. What should it contain? What should it not contain? And literally everything that you would want to know about prompting for AI voice agents specifically and for Retell AI specifically as well. I will link that video somewhere above here in the I button. You can watch it after this video if you want to. But for this particular video, I have already written the prompts to save both of our time. So we basically have the prompts for the states, we have it for the universal one, and we're going to be using this. And again, I will be sharing this with you so that you can also copy paste the prompts and edit them as per your business. So for example, you could edit the identity for your business and keep the rest of it the same, right? So you can find these prompts in the resources linked in the description below. Going to be free to access, but if you would like to support the channel, it's up to you. So this empty space that you're seeing here is the place where you put the universal prompt. Now the universal prompt is basically a way to give it an identity, tell it how to speak, how to sound, and what to follow and what not to follow. This is not a place to, give it actions and tasks and all of that. That's not what we're doing here. All we're doing here is setting the personality of the voice agent. So I'm just going to paste the prompt here. So as you can see, we have the identity here and the style guardrails. Once you have pasted, you can save it, you can grab it from the resources, right? And you can edit it as you go. The first thing we are doing here is giving it a name. So you are Alex, an AI voice agent for Apex Appliance Repairs. Now you can replace it with your business name. Then we're telling it, what your job is, right? What you're supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do. So we're telling it that you handle incoming customer calls with a friendly, efficient, and professional tone. Your job is to guide the callers through repair inquiries, appointment scheduling, and basic service information. You escalate to a human only when necessary, stay natural, speak clearly, and ensure that the callers feel supported. Now, another line you could add here is that you are not supposed to do XYZ. For example, you're not supposed to handle billing stuff, right? For example. So it's up to you, but I think this is a good start for anyone beginning. Okay, and then after that, we have the style guardrails, which are basically, things like be concise, be proactive, one question at a time, confirm often, human escalation, and all of that. Now, it's always good to have these points because it makes your voice agents sound more and more natural and conversational. So I wouldn't recommend changing a lot in this part, but you can for sure, change this part and define its role and objective and all of that. Great. After that, we are going to select the welcome message. So if you click here, you basically have three options. The first is user initiates and the second is AI initiates. So user initiates means that the user will speak first and AI will be silent. And for the second one, it's that AI would speak first and the user would remain silent. So I would recommend going with AI initiates because if they're calling your business, we would want the voice agent to speak first and not wait for the customer to speak. Now, out of these as well, we have two options again. The first is that you set a fixed message, like you define your message. And the second is that it begins with a dynamic message. I would recommend going with a dynamic message. So basically, it thinks every time and then greets the user or gives the welcome message. Okay, so we've done the basic configurations and now we will finally get into actually building it. That is designing the prompt tree. So you will click on this button that says Edit Prompt Tree and it's going to take you to a blank canvas. So what you will actually be doing here is that you will be designing a tree sort of a diagram that the voice agent will follow each time. So let me make things clear. So the first thing you will do is click on New State and it's gonna, pop this thing up for you in which you could write its own individual prompt. And if you again click on this, you can have another one and then so on and so forth. So if you see here, we kind of have a tree sort of a system and we can also connect these like that and it looks more like a tree now. Now, what is the purpose of this? So let's suppose that a voice agent has to perform multiple tasks. For example, answer user questions, book appointments, update the CRM, do call transfers, take orders or do something like that. In that case, it has a lot to handle. And if you put it at one place, then it might just hallucinate and it might not be able to assist the user well. And that is where the prompt tree comes into play. You are basically dividing all of its tasks into different branches. And based on what the customer is interested in, the voice agent can transition to that particular state and only talk about that and leave the rest. So if the user is just interested in appointment booking, it would not think about the other features. It will just focus on appointment booking, which has its own prompt, its own tools and functions. The first state is always the intro state, which is going to give an introduction and try to understand what the user is looking for. And once it has understood that, okay, the user wants to book an appointment, in that case, it would go to that particular respective state and continue the conversation from there. So I hope you got a gist of what this actually is and why we need it inside of a voice agent. So let's quickly start with the intro state. So you can click here and you can rename this to intro. And just don't forget to save things as you go. Now, as I said, the intro state's job is pretty simple. All it has to do is greet the user and then decide that what is the user interested in. So it just asks, how can I help you today? And based on what the user replies, it just transitions to the next state. All of these boxes are kind of called states, just for your information. So let's just quickly put the prompt for the intro state. Okay, so here is our prompt. So in the beginning of these state prompts, we kind of give it like back context as to what is happening. So we've told it that you're handling an inbound call and your job is to greet the user and determine what they need help with. Based on the response, you can route the conversation to the appropriate task, which could be either appointment booking or FAQ answering or a call transfer. Once you've given it like a short description of what to do, you will then define the steps. So step 1, greet the user. Step 2, understand their intent and route accordingly. And we have given examples for each one of them. If you want to understand this prompting in more detail and understand how you can write these prompts from scratch, you will have to watch that video. If you don't want to spend energy there, then you can just grab these prompts from the resources in the description and just, change a bit and go from there. So if you see here, we've given it 3 rules. If the user wants to book a repair, you will transition to appointment booking. If the user wants to ask a general question, you will transition to FAQs. If the caller is upset, wants to talk to a human, you will transition to call transfer. And all these 3 are going to be these 3 states. So let's rename them. So the first one could be appointment booking. Okay, the second one could be, let's say, answering FAQs. And the last one could be call transfer. Now, one thing you will have to keep in mind is that the state name that you're putting here should be exactly the same as this one. So we'll just change this to appointment booking and this one to answering FAQs and then call transfer. Okay, and then you can save it. So this is how our tree is looking like at the moment. So we have the top branch and then the sub branches. Now, if you see here, each of these connections have something called as edge in between. And if you click here, you will see that here you could basically describe the condition that takes it to this particular state. So you basically have to tell it when do you transition to this state or when do you take use of this particular connection. So for the first one, it's appointment booking. So we will say that triggers when the customer wants to book an appointment. You don't have to change anything here. All you have to do is put one line that tells the voice agent when to transition to the next state. So similarly, for this one, it would be triggers when the customer has questions regarding the business. Okay, and we save it. And lastly, this one, you might have guessed, it's going to be triggers when the customer wants to speak to a human representative. Okay, so this is just like an extra layer that is telling it, when to choose which state. Okay, now let's go into each one of these one by one and set them up. Now, the easiest one here is going to be answering FAQs. So we're going to start with it so that you can get a gist of how things are working. Okay, so here's the prompt for this particular state. It's pretty straightforward and short. So again, beginning with the context, that is, the caller has asked a question, a general question about the service. Your job is to provide accurate and concise answers using the knowledge base. Now, let's suppose a customer asks that, what are your business hours? Now, the GPT LLM or the Claude LLM might not know your business hours, right? So in that case, it's going to search the knowledge base in which you might have put some sort of a PDF where you might have mentioned your business hours, or maybe you had put your website's link that mentions your business hours. In that case, it can scrape that particular information, it can look into it and tell the customer what your business hours are. So it's basically an extension to its knowledge. And how to set up the knowledge base? I will be showing it to you just in a second. Okay, so after that, the steps are pretty straightforward here. The first thing is, what is your question, which they might have asked already. And then based on that, you search for the answer from the knowledge base and you give the answer. Then you ask, is there anything else I can help you with? And if they do need any further assistance, you assist them. If they don't need any further assistance, you cut the call. Now, just like the intro state, we even have the rules here. That is, if they want to book a repair, you go to appointment booking. If they want to talk to a human, you go to call transfer. If they want no further assistance, you cut the call. The reason why we have this is, let's suppose the customer calls and they say that, what are your business hours? And then you say that, okay, it's from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., for example. And then after that, they ask for booking an appointment. What would this state alone do in that case? Because this state cannot book appointments. It is not its job to book appointments. So that is why we are putting this, that in case they want to book an appointment after asking a question, you just transition to the appointment booking state. I hope that makes sense. We're just trying to connect the dots here so that nothing gets missed, right? And again, the names should be the same as that of the states. So again, you just, based on whatever you have put as the state name, just make sure to change these. Okay, and let's save it. And all you have to do is connect these to the other two as well, like this. And there's no need to specify the edge in this case because we're just interconnecting the states. If you want to, you can just copy paste those edge lines we had written previously and you can put it here, but it's not necessary at all. Okay, so the state is done, but this state is nothing without the knowledge base. So let's go ahead and set up the knowledge base. In order to do that, you will have to come out of this and you will click here on the drop down menu that says knowledge base and you will click on add. Now, since you might be creating this for the first time, you might not have a knowledge base set up for your business as of now. If you do, great, you can just select it. If you don't, you can click on add new knowledge base. And then you need to click on this plus icon and then give your knowledge base a name. So let's say Apex knowledge base. Basically your business name, and then click on add. Now this is the place where you can add everything. As I said, you can add PDF documents, you can add text files, you can even add your website links, etc. So for file uploads, it's simple. You just select the file and put it there. It's always good to have a file that has a list of frequently asked questions for your business. For example, your business hours, your services, and all the questions that they tend to ask over call. And lastly, if you do have a website, don't forget to add the link to your website. So click on add web pages, then just search for your website in a new tab. Make sure to copy the link from here and not type it manually. Just paste it here and then click on save. Then just click on select all and save, and your website has been added to the knowledge base. For the files, it's just a normal file upload. Now, since this is not a real business and I'm just making up things here, I'll just go to ChatGPT and I'll tell it to, give me a list of frequently asked questions for an appliance store. Okay, so I'll just tell it that get me a list of 20 frequently asked questions for an appliance repairing store named this, and just make up the answers. Okay. And to be honest, you can also do this for your own business because it's going to give you a list of 20 questions, let's say, and then you can just write the answers for all the 20. And that's how you have like an FAQs document for your business. So, okay, I'm just going to copy these till here, and we're just gonna put it in a new Google Doc. Okay, and we paste it. Let's just name it FAQs Apex Appliance Repairs. Okay, and then let's download it as a PDF and upload it right here. Okay, so this is done, and let's save it. Okay, so it's ready. Now let's go back. Let's click on plus. Now it's not showing the knowledge base as of now, so we'll just refresh the page. Okay, now if I click on add, I will be able to see the newly created knowledge base. So just click on it and it would attach it to the voice agent. Creating this alone wouldn't help. You will have to attach it to the voice agent in order to give it the knowledge. Now, I had just, added my website to this. I'll just have to remove this because my website has no role here. So I'll just click on edit and delete and save. Okay. Now we just have the 20 FAQs. Okay, so the answering FAQs state is ready, and now we can go ahead and test it. Now, if you want to test it over audio, you can just click on test audio and test and just speak to it. If you're somewhere outside, you can click on test LLM and just chat to it. Though it's a voice agent, you can also chat to it in order to test it. So let's do a quick test to make sure the knowledge base is working. So we're going to go to test LLM and manual chat. Okay, so how can I assist you with today? Let's just ask a question from the knowledge base. So, I think we can ask this one, or maybe we can ask this one. Yeah, I think this is good. So, yep. Okay, so as you can see, it did knowledge base retrieval and it gave the answer saying that the fee is $49, and that is exactly the same as what we had mentioned in the knowledge base. That means that the knowledge base is working all fine. And if you hover over this, you will be able to see that the answering FAQ state had answered this. So if you don't hover, it's like completely white. But if you do, then we have a blue boundary, which tells us that, okay, this was used to give this answer, which is completely correct. So creating this particular state taught you how to write a prompt and add a knowledge base. Next up, we're going to work with this particular state, that is call transfer. Now, the job of this state is to transfer the calls to human representatives just in case it's not able to handle the call. Let's say someone wants help with something we have not set up in the voice agent, or they're too angry, they don't want to listen, or let's say they don't want to speak to an AI voice agent. In that case, it can just transfer the call to one of the business's staff. So as you might have guessed, the prompt is going to be very, very simple. That is, the caller is upset, unresponsive, or requests a human. Your job is to escalate the call, right? The steps are very simple. All you have to do is, call this particular function that would transfer the call to a human. Now, just in case the transfer fails, in that case, it can tell the customer that, the staff was busy, they couldn't pick up the phone. Is there anything else I can help with? And if there is, then it can just continue helping. If not, it can cut the call. Now, a lot of my clients have this question as to how would this feature actually work? What will their staff have to do in order to, be a part of this? So let me tell you that it's nothing fancy, pretty straightforward. All that would happen is that your staff would get a phone call, a normal phone call, and they just have to answer it. That's it. Nothing fancy. They don't have to be on a dashboard. They don't have to be on Retell AI, nothing like that. They just have to answer the phone and that's it. So all you have to do is click on Add under Tools and select Call Transfer. You can leave these as is, and for the phone number, you can add it here. Just make sure that you have the plus sign, you have your country code, and then that is followed by the phone number of your staff. Now, at this point, you have two options. You can either have a cold transfer or a warm transfer. So, a cold transfer is when the voice agent would directly connect the customer to your staff and there would be no other interaction in between. It's just direct, okay? So, that is a cold transfer. But in case of a warm transfer, the AI voice agent is going to give a quick summary to your staff before it connects them to the customer. So the customer might have to wait for an extra of 3 to 5 seconds, but your staff would be well aware of what had happened throughout the call previously. Now it's up to you, whichever you want to choose. You can either go for direct or you can go for an AI summary in between. If you go for the AI summary, you might have to, tinker around with these settings. Do you want the customer to hear a ringtone? Do you want them to hear a sound while they're waiting, right? And similarly, the other settings, right? If you want to go direct, then you can just go with call transfer. Now, for the displayed phone number, I would suggest keeping Retell agent's number so that your staff knows that, okay, this is a transferred call because it's coming from your voice agent. Otherwise, you could also put the customer's number, but in that case, your staff might just get confused as to where the call is coming from. Okay, so once you do these settings and save it, your voice agent would have the capability to transfer calls. If you're wondering, can we just transfer to one number or can we have like conditions on that? So you can go to dynamic routing, and in that case, you can even have conditions. Like if they want to talk to a technician, transfer to this number. If they want to talk to someone else, then transfer to that number, right? So you can kind of have intelligence in between if needed, but most people just go with static, so you can go with that. And then you just save it. And that's how the call transfer feature is ready. Now, if you're testing it here, this feature won't work. But if you're testing it over the phone, like you're calling the voice agent and testing it, in that case, the feature would work. So we're not going to test it right now. That brings us to the last state, that is appointment booking. Let's say somebody wants to, schedule an appointment for a repair. Maybe their AC is not working. They want a technician to visit and check the problem. So that is where this particular feature or this particular state is going to be handy. Now, the prompt for this one would be a bit more long as compared to the last few because the voice agent might have to ask a few questions before booking the appointment. Okay, so let me paste the prompt that we have in place. Well, just before that, I think we forgot connecting the last state to the other two. So just make sure to connect it to the other two just in case it needs to transfer. Okay, great. Now we can paste the prompt. And let's understand the prompt in detail. Firstly, the context. The caller wants to request a repair. Your task is to collect the necessary information first and then schedule a technician visit and submit the lead. So you're going to first ask for what issue they're facing, what is their preferred time, what is their name, right? What is their phone number? To be honest, you could have also put the phone number they're calling from as the phone number, but it's always good to ask the phone number, right? And then the fifth option could be confirming the details before it goes ahead and schedules the appointment. And once it's done, it's just going to give a confirmation that, okay, the appointment is scheduled and someone from our team will follow up shortly. And right after that, it's going to call this particular tool to submit all of this information either into a CRM or a portal or something as simple as a Google Sheets or somewhere to keep record of the appointments. And that's it. Then it can ask, is there anything else I can help with? If there is, it can help them further. If not, it can cut the call. So let's go ahead and set up this particular feature, that is submit lead info. So you click on add here and then you click on custom function. After that, give it a name. The name should be the same as that of in the prompt. Then you can give it a description about when to trigger it, what all information should it contain. So let's say triggers when the customer has provided all the necessary information. Okay, so let's keep it straightforward. Triggers when the customer has provided all the necessary information to book an appointment. And now the next thing is setting up the API call. Now you have two options here. Either you can connect it to an automation platform like n8n, make.com, or Zapier, where you can have a complete automation in place to do whatever task you want to. Or you can just have a direct API call to your CRM or your portal and just submit the information. So the good thing with the first option is that you have flexibility to add more to the actions. So you could either update a Google Sheet, you could update your calendar, you can update the CRM, you can do a ton of tasks because you are connecting to an automation platform. But if you just want to do a one-off task, then doing an API call to your CRM is just fine. For now, we are going to connect it to an automation platform, which is going to be n8n. And in there, we're going to set up an automation that would add all of these details to a Google Sheet. Okay, so here we are on n8n. For the people who are new to this is a no-code automation platform which is going to allow you to connect your voice agent to a ton of apps. You can connect it to your Google Workspace, you can connect it to your CRM, you can literally connect it to any other platform out there that offers an API. If you don't already have an account with it, click on the link in the description and create an account with them. You're going to get a free trial and you can upgrade later on if needed. So once you've created the account, click on create workflow right here, and that would give you a blank canvas to start with. Now, the first thing before you connect anything else would be a webhook trigger. So the webhook trigger would basically help you connect with Retell AI. Okay, so it's more like a URL that would help connect both of the platforms together. So just search for webhook and select the first option. It's going to give you a URL, copy it, come back to your Retell function and paste it right here. Now, this is the URL where it would be passing all the information to, like the name of the person, the phone number, and all of that. And then you can do whatever you want to with that information inside of n8n. Okay, so that's that. Now, we will have to specify the information it needs to send. So click on form here. So let's say the first thing it needs to send is the name. So you just type name under parameter name. And then the description is more like to tell the voice agent what the value should be. So the value should be the customer's name, right? Just normal English. Then the second thing we need would be the phone number. And here we can say the customer's phone number. Okay, thirdly, what else are we looking for? So let's just check our prompt. So yeah, the preferred time, right? So yeah, let's just put the preferred time. So again, it's just preferred time here as well. And lastly, we would have the appliance. Okay, so whichever appliance is not working. Okay, and for the type, you can select string. For the number one, you can select number. For the time, I think it's fine. Yeah, okay, great. Once you've set this up, you can just click on save and the retell function is ready. Now we will go back to n8n and set up the rest of the automation. So the method is post, which was also mentioned in the function there. So just put it to post here. And then all of these remain the same. We don't want to respond at a later stage because we don't want to give any data back. All we have to do is just, add it to a Google Sheet. So immediately is fine. But just in case you want to send data back to the voice agent after, let's say, searching something, in that case, you would select the third option and have a respond to webhook node in your automation. Okay. For now, just keep it to this. Let's just quickly test it. So just click on listen. That is listening, and here go to the LLM real quick, click on new and just do a chat, and let's say I want to book a repair appointment oven. Okay, let's do 5 p.m. What's today? So today is the 1st of July, so let's do the 3rd of July. So let me just put something. This is not my phone number, by the way. Okay, so 5 p.m. on July 3rd, Yashica, that's the phone number. Yes. Okay, so as you can see, it did call the tool with the information. So let's go back to n8n. And as you can see, inside of output, we should have the details. So let's just close this. Yes, so we have the name, we have the time, the appliance, and the phone number. Basically, all the information we had submitted there inside of n8n. And the last thing we want to do is add it somewhere, right? So in this case, we're just going to add it to a Google Sheet. You can add it to your CRM or wherever you'd like. So let's just search for Google Sheets. Okay, now for Google Sheets, all we want to do is create a row, which is this particular one, that is append row in sheet. Okay, now we'll actually have to, connect the Google Sheets account. So for that, click on Create New Credential. Then click on Sign In with Google and select whichever Google account you want to go with and then save it. Once you're done, just go to Google Sheets and that particular account that you had connected to n8n. Click on Blank Spreadsheet and then let's just create a spreadsheet to store all of that information. So the first one was name, I think. Yeah. Then we had phone number. Okay. Then we had appliance and the preferred time. Okay. So these four information. Let's go back here. Okay, we'll also have to rename the Google Sheet. So let's say appointment booking by the AI voice agent. Okay, now let's see if we've got it here. If not, just come out of it, go back in again, and let's just click here. And there you go. So appointment booking by the AI voice agent. Sheet is going to be sheet 1. It's then going to get you all the fields that you had set up, all the columns. So the name, the phone number and everything. And all we have to do is map the inputs. So go to schema here in the inputs pane, scroll down, or maybe, you know what, just close these. Yeah. And as you can see, this is the name, we put it here, the preferred time, we put it here, appliance here, and phone number here. And if you click on execute step and you come back here, you will see that a new row has been created with the data that we had given inside of Retell. Then you can come out of this, you can save the automation, you can rename this, okay, and this is ready. Lastly, just turn it on and it would be ready to, create rows inside of the Google Sheet, and just come back to the function, click on edit, and just remove this test thing from the URL because we're not testing it anymore, and also this hyphen, okay? And then just update and save, and there you go. Now, if you directly do a conversation here, let's do that, you will see that a row would be created in the Google Sheets automatically. So let's put the Google Sheet here. So as you can see, we only have one row. Let's just do this again. So how can I assist you? I want to book an appointment. I need help with my oven. Let's say 2 p.m. by 4th of July. Name, let's just put a different name. Okay, and the phone number. Okay, yes. Great, now let's check the Google Sheet. And there you go, we have a new row. So the 3 states are ready, as you can see. Now we have to do a few more things before it is ready to use. The first thing is come under functions, click on add and select the function end call. Save it. Now this would allow the voice agent to cut the call. So once the conversation is done, it can use this function and cut the call. The reason we put it here is because we want the entire voice agent, like all the states, to be able to access this function. So that's why we put it here, okay? And that's it. The knowledge wave, we put it. Let's just go through these settings once. So I wouldn't recommend changing these a lot because it really affects the way your voice agent performs. So responsiveness, all of this is good. Okay, we don't want to change anything here. For end on silence, let's say the customer is not speaking at all, then how long would you want to wait before cutting the call? So I think this particular value, which is I think 10 minutes, is a bit more. We can just put it to 5 minutes. So if the user is not speaking for 5 minutes, then you can just cut the call. The maximum call duration, I don't think 1 hour is needed at all. You can put it to something like 20 minutes, because the voice agent would be able to help the user in within 20 minutes. Okay, so you can put it something like that. Now the ring duration, so how much should it ring before we think that okay, the call transfer is not working or the person is not picking up? I think 30 seconds is fine. Let's give 30 seconds. Let's give your staff 30 seconds to even pick up the call. If not, if they don't pick up in that time frame, it's just going to say that the staff is busy, and go from there. So post call analysis. So let's say that you want to get some information out of the call into your CRM or Google Sheet. In that case, you can use this. So for example, if you want to get the AI summary, if you want to get sentiment analysis, etc., then you can use this. Again, a bit more on the advanced side of things. So it's up to you if you want to go with that. And then for the security and fallback, I don't think you really need to change any of these except for the fallback voice ID. So let's say that if the voice you had selected is not working, in that case, you can just select a second voice that can, back up. So yeah, that's that. And the webhooks, you don't really need to tinker that. And that's done. Your voice agent is ready. Now, as you test it, you might want to improve things. You might want it to sound a certain way. In that case, all you have to do is go to the prompt, change the prompt, and it's going to answer accordingly. You will get access to all the prompts in the description, the resources in the description. You can copy paste them, change them a bit, set it up as per the video, then test it a couple of times. Actually, a lot of times. I would say that do at least, 10 to 20 different instances of how your customer might speak, and based on how it's responding, evaluate if that's good or bad. If it's bad, then give it more instructions inside of the prompt as to how it can improve that particular mistake or how it should not make that particular mistake at all. If it's missing any knowledge, then put it in the knowledge base. And if you want to see how much it's going to cost you, you can see it right here at the top. And now comes the last topic, that is going to be the phone number. Now we've set up the voice agent, which is good, but to which number would the customer call in order to speak to the voice agent? So come to phone numbers inside of Retell and click on the plus icon. Now you have two options. You either buy a phone number from Retell, okay, or you buy it from a third-party service and connect it to Retell. So a very popular option is using Twilio. Now, if you're a person who doesn't care a lot about money and wants to save their time, then you can just buy it from Retell. Takes less than a minute, okay? You would have a phone number that would be connected to your voice agent, to which you could call and speak to it. But if you're someone who wants to save on money, then you can go with the second option. I will link a video somewhere above here which would show you how to buy a phone number from Twilio and connect it. Now it's going to take about 10 to 15 minutes of your time, but if you do it once, you will, have a much cheaper option for you moving forward. Both the options would cost you monthly. It's an ongoing cost. It's not something you have to pay for once. No, you'll have to pay for it, but the second one is going to be a bit more cheaper for you. So yeah, I'm just going to link the video above. If not, if you want to get started right away, just buy a new number. Once you've bought the number or you have watched my video and connected your other number, you'll have to go under inbound call agent and just select the agent we had just now created. That's it. Now you can make it a phone call and it's going to pick up. Okay, so just to recap, you will find all the prompts in the description. Look for the resources in the description and you can grab it from there. You will find the link to both the platforms, Retell as well as n8n, in the description. You can check it out there. Also, if anyone's interested in working with us, for example, if you want to get a voice agent set up for your business that is even more advanced, does a lot of tasks, and is good at it, then you can find the link to our website in the description below. You can visit our website. If you feel that you would want to work with us, then you can book a call and we can go from there. Apart from voice agents, we also specialize in automating stuff for your business. For instance, creating internal automations that can save you a ton of time that you're spending on manual tasks. And apart from that, we also create AI agents, which are chat based, could be for internal usage as well as external. So if it's anything AI automation related for business, then don't forget to check out our website. Just so that you know, we're also a gold certified partner with Retell AI, and very soon we're going to be a diamond one. So even if you visit their website, Retell's website, and you go to partners, so if you go here, Retell AI, and you search for partners, and you go to the first link and you scroll down, you will find our website listed right here. As you can see, Automates AI. We have it right here. You can read about us and you can even go from here if you want. So the reason why I showed you this is to tell you that even Retell recognizes us as a good provider for voice agents, basically. Okay, so yeah, don't forget to check the description, and if there's anything else you would want me to cover in my future videos, let me know in the comments. If you did create the voice agent, then let me know in the comments. Tell me how it turned out to be. If you're facing any issues, let me know. Also, the link to my LinkedIn account is in the description, just in case you would want to connect with me or follow me there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I will meet you in the next video. Till then, bye!